are live. Hey, girl. Oh, wait. Are you frozen? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Cool, cool,
There we
cool. We
are.
good.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
It might be
All right.
me. I hope it's not me.
Oh, welcome to week 3. Are you still, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Your video keeps freezing. So I don't
I
know if it's,
know. It was on my end. It was freezing on my end too. But let's
okay.
see. Let's keep going. Because now it
All right.
seems like it's pretty good.
All right. Good. Good, good,
All
good,
right,
good. All
cool.
right. Well,
What's up, girl?
yes, what's going on? How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really good. It is a really sunny day today. I am I think I'm hitting a little jet lag, but I'm just kind of like, ooh, and it's interesting because of what we're talking about. But I'm like, okay, give yourself grace and compassion, but still be very intentional about getting some stuff done. And I'm excited to be
Exactly.
here because I love these conversations also. So it's a little bit
Me
easier.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. I am very excited about this week's conversation. You know, continuing our BIPOC mental health month conversations. In
Yeah,
this one is a deep one. Like
it
week
is.
3, okay, because we're talking about something that all of us have either suffered from, currently suffering from, like
Yeah.
talking burnout, boundaries, and the power of the pause.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. So we're going to be talking about like how resting, how pausing doesn't have to be earned. It's something that we have to do. It
Yeah.
should be a strategy. It should be a necessity. All the things like we deserve to just pause. We
Exactly.
deserve to have the boundaries, right? All the things. So, um,
Yes.
yeah. So also, if you guys are just tuning in, like, let's just say you didn't reach like week 1, week 2. So again, I am Tanika Pack, founder and CEO of Impact Fitness, and I'm here with my girl, Miss
Radiance.
Radiance. Yes.
Yes, I'm Radiance, your wellness bestie, CEO of Rooted in Radiance, where we do wellness activities. So I feel like both of us, like our synergy is like perfect because we have the same mindset for this stuff. Yes. Yeah.
Going to school and a career, like we're all just trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
So this conversation is really just, reminding us that pausing isn't quitting, it's our nourishment, it's the way that we refuel,
Oh, I love that.
and boundaries are also necessary.
I love that.
Woo, girl.
I'm excited. I'm getting hot.
So if you
Is it
don't
hot?
have your
Somebody hot?
right,
Y'all hot?
I was about to say, if y'all don't have y'all
Oh
water,
yeah.
y'all pen and paper, I don't know if y'all might need tissues. I don't know, but be ready for whatever. Be ready for whatever. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get grounded
Ooh.
before we even
Yeah.
jump into this conversation.
Yeah. So, oh, thank you for letting me set the tone with grounding because, and even when you are working or if you have these tough conversations or if you're just about to get a lot of information, having just like a moment to pause, literally what we're talking about, can help us like approach it with clarity. So today I wanted to kind of build on what we did last week and I want to do a body scan. So it's a little breathwork body scan. And in saying that, let's get comfortable and cozy wherever we are. Of course, we're sitting on a chair, maybe having all 10 toes, 10 feet on the ground, relaxing your shoulders, allowing your hips to be heavy in the chair, your shoulders to melt down to the earth beneath you, and just take a moment to monitor and notice your breath. And allowing each exhale to just drift you a little bit deeper and inviting you to, whether it's closing your eyes or giving yourself a soft gaze, just simply notice the fullness of yourself and your breath. Not forcing anything, just being, because at the end of the day, we were born to be alive, and that's what this is. Taking a full deep inhale in here, inhaling in through the nose, exhaling, letting it go through the mouth. 2 more. Deep breath in through your nose, belly, chest, head. Exhaling, letting it go through your mouth. Last one, best one. Deep breath in, the fullness of yourself. And exhale, we release, letting go any tension and heaviness. Tuning back into your own breath here and drawing attention to the top of your head, the crown of your head. Maybe envisioning a light exiting the crown of your head towards the sky, allowing your spine and to become more erect, your shoulders to draw down. That light is melting beautifully, softening your temples of your face, your eyes, softening your jaw, your tongue, all the way down to your neck, feeling your ears melt down, your neck becoming soft and free, and letting your shoulders drop down towards the floor, softening your shoulders, trickling down your arms all the way to your fingertips. Feeling that ease draw back up towards the top of your back, spiraling down your spine, blessing each organ as the softness arrives down to your hips. Taking a nice deep inhale in here. And exhale, breathing that exhale through down to your hips, softening your hips. Finding your breath once more, allowing the light to permeate your hips, down your thighs, your knees, your legs, hey ankles, all the way down to your toes. You are illuminated and at ease. All systems in your body are identified and working together for your good. All of the cells are smiling at you showing up for yourself today. Taking a full, deep inhale in here. Feeling the fullness from your toes all the way up to the crown of your head, holding here. Exhaling, releasing, exhale. Starting to just shift side to side on those hips, maybe circles, maybe neck rolls. And before you even open your eyes, just identifying where you are in time and space, where you are in this moment, and gently opening your eyes, maybe giving me a little smile, and just saying, "Thank you, body. All systems are working for my good. Let's go."
Yes, let's go. Oh,
Ah, lovely.
thank you
I
for
love
that,
my body.
Radiance.
That goes back to what
Yeah,
we said, right? We love our bodies.
yeah, episode 2. We love our bodies. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we set the tone,
Yeah.
because we have to recognize
Yes.
the wins. Okay, so I
Yeah.
want to hear from you. What was one of your wins from this week?
Ooh, okay. And in the spirit of pausing and boundaries, one of my wins this week is crazy, girl, because it's gonna seem like it's like, girl, you losing, but now I'm winning. Hold up. All right. So I missed my flight. Ah, Jesus. All right. I missed my flight, unfortunately, but I was with someone, with a friend who I was traveling with. And so we missed our flight. And I
Mhm.
was bratty. Oh, I was bratty. I was up in arms. I was like, man, we missed a flight. They don't even know what they're talking about. You could make it to the flight with an hour ahead. I was bratty to the taxi driver, but he was a little disrespectful. He was like not affirming me. And I was like, I paid you to drive, like, why are you telling me I'm going to miss my flight? Raising my anxiety, right? So these are
Right.
all, again, boom. And so I realized
Mhm.
that after we missed the flight, after we stood in line, after I paid 150 bucks, okay, to change that flight, I like my, you know how it is, like you just keep getting angry. I feel like everything was just piling on top. And so my win was the self awareness that I had in the moment. And I was like, I didn't meditate today. I did not meditate this morning. I was just moving fast. And so in the
Mhm.
airport, because me and my friend were together, we decided, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go get some food over here. I don't want to eat this food. We don't have to always do everything together. She went,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
ordered
yeah.
the food. I walked away with my headphones to order and eat the food. And knowing we had to wait, I sat and did a 6-minute body scan, my meditation for the day.
Yay.
And when I say, girl, I was in that airport thinking I was in a whole nother galaxy, like just being so much better for myself. And it really reset, similar to the body scan that we had today, just kind of just where are you in time and space? And like
Mhm.
realizing and knowing that all systems are working out and everything is working out for your good. And it was a win because, girl, the bratty levels went down. Okay. I was like
Okay.
replenished and able to make clear decisions moving forward about where I was staying, like the next flight, what I was going to eat,
Mhm.
because you think you're going to be on a flight for 8 hours. And now you're like, whoa, have a whole nother day. But so I know,
Yeah.
long story short, that was my win for sure. Self awareness.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. In the moment of chaos, you were able to just recenter and just get yourself
Yes.
back into a state of clarity to move
Yes.
forward.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's important.
How about you? What was your win, girl?
So, again, in the spirit of boundary setting and from a recovering people pleaser and
Oh,
the yes girl,
okay.
um, previously,
Yeah.
like I don't schedule anything on this day during that time, and the event was on that day during that time. I would have said yes.
Mm.
I would have said yes. What time should I be there? Da 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 da. Da. But I actually said no, and I
Ooh,
am like okay with. I'm okay with it because again, the opportunities that are for
are
me
for you.
will be aligned. Are for me and will
Yeah,
be aligned where they need to be.
exactly.
So, being able to say no and be okay
Yeah, yeah,
is a win because before I would have been like, no, or I would have been like, yes. Or if I
exactly.
had to say no, I would have been like, oh my gosh, girl, why did you do this? No, no, I can't.
No. And it's operating because that's like operating from the scarcity mindset is what I've
Mm,
heard. Like when you have to say yes to everything, and it doesn't allow you to leave room for God to bless you in those areas. And so it's a practice. So maybe with that, you didn't have
yeah.
anything that filled it, but you felt fulfilled. But it's a
Hmm.
practice. Some people are like, oh, well, I could have said yes. I didn't do anything anyway. No, 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 no. It's practice. You're supposed to
Yes.
get to that mindset of saying no on your non-negotiables. Dang. But I'm
Yeah.
guessing that wasn't Beyonce as your client though.
No, 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 no. Now, see,
I might look. You say you had
right?
Cowboy Carter tickets, VIP. What? Maybe.
What?
you know.
Wait, let me see what I can move around.
Yeah, Beyonce, if you're listening, we would love to go on tour with you and train you and your
Okay,
dancers. Look, we're just gonna put
there
a
you
little
go.
ad here real quick.
Okay, tag
Love
her.
to be on
Go,
tour to
tag her in the
train
comments.
your staff. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh Lord. Okay, so I love the wins. I love the wins. We always have to
Yeah.
acknowledge them no matter what. So let's get into it. So let's
Right.
let's start with let's start with burnout. I know because we talked a little bit about it. Was that last week? You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
we've been
both.
sprinkling, yeah, we've been
Yeah.
sprinkling, burnout a little bit here and there, but like now we're really gonna have the conversation.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not always, I'm tired or I'm tired. It's, I'm over it. It's the emotional, the mental, the physical, like tap out. And most of us don't even realize that we're burned out until like our body's just like, no, shut down, or like our mood is giving, like, don't talk to me, do not
Yeah.
disturb, like all the things. So we've also been taught, especially in our community, to just keep pushing, keep showing up, keep saying yes. That we just got to keep going. But like that
Yeah.
hustle culture will eat you right on up if
Yeah.
you aren't
Like
careful.
Pac-Man. Yap, 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 yap,
Exactly.
yap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And those little ghosts is burnout chasing you because it's gonna catch up, right? It's gonna catch up.
That's literally a real life example.
Okay. Okay. So, in talking about how we don't necessarily realize like we are at the point of burnout until it's
Yeah.
too late. Um, but for you, what does burnout feel like for you? Like when you've like you're done. Like what are the signs for you?
Yeah, so I love it now because I'm so embodied, so I feel those signs ahead of time. But for that, we all have that big burnout Super Bowl that we're like, "Ooh, this is what that is." This is how it showed up for me, because it was more on the extreme side. So my body was
Mhm.
breaking down, and we talked a little bit about this, like physically, and just to give a little bit of perspective, I was working so much for a real estate developer, and it was around the time of George Floyd, and I was already working hard because I wanted to get 18,000 promotions. Duh, I want to be the CEO, all of this, and I was one of the only ones that looks like me. Okay, so it was a
Yeah.
bit harder. And so I was working so hard and, still doing my fitness, running, doing all the things. It's a lot of energy expenditure. So when 2020 arrived and I kind of shifted into more diversity work in addition to that job as well, in addition to healing from, I mean, the world was shut down when we talk about what COVID happened. And so I just realized that even though the environment was slowing down, I was still like going so fast. So body shut down,
Mhm.
deep exhaustion. Breath is shallow. I'm not really like breathing like we did before. Like I didn't know when the last time I was reading. Like imagine someone asking like when's the last time you took a breath? I was like, well, because you have to think about it because it's so automatic, right? Um,
Mhm.
Intuition was foggy. Like I always say, I'm super connected with my intuition when I'm connected to my body. And with burnout, it disconnects me from my body. So it also disconnects me from any intuitive anything. Okay. It was just
Yeah.
terrible. And then
Yeah.
when we think about my nervous system, I think I mentioned this, like I was shaking, my hands were shaking, my rituals, something that I like to do, girl, go outside and frolic. I was like, it's so much work to go outside and frolic.
Exactly. Yes.
You become disinterested in the things, that because or you're like, I have to do this work that I can't even take a moment to frolic in the field. That's crazy.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
disassociation as well, like those, and I know I had to, because burnout for me is just like everything to the point to where I couldn't move. Like, it's wild, and I can say it with a smile now, but, like, I literally could not move. I had no energy to even, like, feed myself sometimes, like, I would be
Wow.
depleted. And so it's scary. It's scary, but when you actually recognize those items, you can kind of build something, to help you with that, but it's whew, once you're there, I had to hit Tanika, I had what is that? That hard reset button or the fire
Mhm.
alarm
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
couldn't. And so I didn't know this was a thing until I used FMLA to take 12 weeks off work. And when I was,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I was when I was connecting with my doctor, she wrote burnout. And I was like, that's what
Hmm.
I have. Like, I didn't recognize it. People say it, but it's an actual yes. And so that was the reason why I was able to go
Mm.
on FMLA, was because burnout. I was depleted. It was really sad. And I love that Radiance. I'm so sorry, younger Radiance. You know, you had to like, because like she was working so hard, but it was
Mhm.
almost from a people pleasing aspect, right?
Yeah.
Pleasing of this, trying to get this, trying to get this, trying to get there, versus honoring and acknowledging what was happening on the inside. So yeah. How about you? Ooh,
Wow. So first of all, I know folks who are listening to that were going down the checklist like, "Oh my gosh,
yeah.
I felt that," or "Yeah, I feel disassociated." Oh yeah, the things I like. So
Yeah.
I know that they know that they
They know.
experience some of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for sharing that. So yeah, with me, definitely similar things, but I know um I love to create content. So okay, let's go back. Let's go
Oh.
back. Let's go back. Yeah. Yeah, let's go
Dude.
back. So, things that I love. So, yeah, and I'm saying this because this happened almost recently.
Hmm.
Um, I love to create content.
Yeah.
I love to be creative. So, I know when I'm burned out, when I don't want to create, that I can't
Yes.
create. And when I'm trying to, like, it's forced.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and like you said, when you go out and frolic, like it's kind of like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I don't like it feels like a chore. Things that I enjoy feels like a chore and another
It's
thing on my
crazy.
to-do list. Right. It's like, girl, leave me
Yeah.
alone. Like you love to do this. Like, why is this such a burden to do? Um, and then I feel a sense of like severe, like overwhelm that it's
Mm.
too many things to focus on and try to do. I just don't do anything. I just shut down and do nothing.
Just go lay
I'm
down.
like, whatever. Exactly. Let me just go lay down.
Yeah.
So
Ah,
I know that those are my main things. And yeah, like literally just going through the motions. So whether it's when I actually do decide to work out or move my body, it's just kind of like, oh, I'm here.
yeah.
Or if I'm working or coaching a client, like, oh, I'm here, two more sets. Yeah, that looks great. Let's move on. Like,
Yeah. Not truly. And I think they don't see me for real. And I think of it as like, even like when I look back at photos or something, I can tell, and it could be the same photo, boom, boom, right? Same hairstyle, not same photo, sorry. Like same hairstyle, same
mm,
smile, like wow, I know, I know what I was going through at that time. So I can tell if I'm just like, I don't want to call it performing because it is base foundation at this point. Duh, I look good. Like,
yeah. Okay.
okay, like, no, you'll never see me like that. That's crazy, but that's like my base.
Yeah.
This is my base foundation. But I can tell what the glow, like, I feel like I see an aura around me
Hmm.
in a video or a picture when I'm in alignment versus when I can tell when I'm burnt out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can definitely tell for sure. For sure. So even just speaking of, you know, the the burnout, what do you think or what would you say is something that you don't push through anymore? We're talking about things feeling like a chore and X, Y, and Z. So what are
Yeah.
some things that you don't push through anymore? So something like you walk away from or pause when you feel like you need to like protect your peace.
Yeah. So even when I think of professionally, when it comes to working, I don't like a super full schedule. So I
Hmm.
will block it off ahead of time and put like creative director block, like to where I can just be creative. So I set moments of meetings for just me to meet my artist self, let me say. And that
Mm,
helps me to be creative, which is productive because we are in a what is this called, like a industry of creation, like even with what we do
yeah.
and teaching
Yeah.
others. So I never, coming into this field of fitness and wellness, like I teach yoga, I never wanted to teach 26 classes a week. Like that's like your body. I never wanted that many clients. I wanted high value aligned clients with my values and my, the things that I prove or I lead with, versus just like
Mhm.
picking up whatever, like, oh, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that.
Right.
One of the other things I did when I got into entrepreneurship was that I wanted to have like part-time jobs or gigs, internships or whatever that were still aligned. I didn't want to be out here just delivering DoorDash or something just to get some extra change. It's like, how do I even still use my gifts, my talents, my creativity to, show up here?
Mm,
So definitely not overpacking my schedule and putting me on my own schedule. That's
that's
professionally.
good.
Personally, all right, let's talk about these dishes in the sink. So one thing I
Right.
realized, because I live in a multi-level unit or house, okay? And man, cleaning. So we use our bodies as our job, right? And cleaning a house
Mhm.
like that's up and downstairs and all that. And I was just like, girl, you do well at like cleaning, but like deep cleaning. One of my things that I told myself was like, you don't need to do this anymore. Hire someone, period. Like, create a
Right.
lifestyle of having a village, a community. Because, oh yeah, you're about to go in. You know this, like have a village or a community, because at the end of the day, like, I have vision beyond my resources. I have goals beyond what I can give by myself. So how can I even have people help? Or even if someone's like, I recommend this meal service, like try it out for the week that you're on your luteal phase. We talked a little bit about this, where you're not
Mhm.
cooking, honey. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
but that's like, I can go on in this kind of field, but like just really having, even like, girl, even just cleaning, like that's a lot of energy. When my girls come in here, it's 3 hours and they're done. For me,
That's it.
I'm still cleaning one of the floors. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Buys you back your time. And people will be
buys
like, when
you.
I'm like, I Instacart my groceries. Why? That saves me time. I ain't gotta go in the store. Like, so
Boom.
things that I can delegate to free up my
Delegate
time to do other things. Like, yeah.
to create. So you have your
Yes.
time to just create. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And I love what you said. You said that you have a vision beyond your
Yeah. Yeah. Like the things I want to do are bigger than me. It's bigger than me. Like, how am I gonna sit here and say I wanna I don't know, get all of Southeast from being obese? You little baby
Yeah,
radiance? No, I need God. Like, I need bigger things and happenings
absolutely.
outside of myself to get that done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And I know for me, something that I walking away from, we're talking about saying yes to, like, I was talking about saying no to a
Mm.
business type of thing that's
Yes.
outside my boundaries. But I used to be at every event saying yes to everything. And they're like, Tanika, you're all over the place. No, I'm not. And I'm like, yeah, girl, you really are. So
Yeah.
um I don't I don't push through, or something that I walked away from is saying yes to all events, being
Yeah.
at all the places. So I'm being more intentional in the spaces that I show up, for the events that I attend.
Boom.
Um, but then also, uh, yeah, saying yes to every event, and that's business and personal. If I
Yeah.
know I really don't want to go, I'm gonna say no now,
Hmm.
and being okay with
Saying no.
changing my mind later.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. But I rather, if it's
And
not, if it's, excuse me for cussing people, if it ain't a hell yes, it's a no. That's what I live
yes,
by. Like, and I'm even talking about, because I have some fly clothes and I need that. One of my goals is to get 50%, like only own 50% of my things. Because again, I'm working
mhm,
towards being a digital nomad, traveling across the world, doing wellness. So what am I going to do taking all 62 of my sports bras, it's kind of like, girl, what? So even getting rid of things, I'm like, I like this. It goes with my set. But I'm like, is it a hell
Mhm.
yes though? And I'm like, it's not. Like my friend could wear it, and I know she would be happy to have it. But this outfit, this one is okay.
Mm.
This one ain't going. But even
Yeah.
that,
Oh, I love
with
that.
items, with opportunities, with relationships. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it just helps, and it helps you like identify why you think that's a heck yes. Let me say, like, why is
That's
that?
true.
Because I like my shoulders out, like, and then you're just becoming more embodied, or it's a heck yes, this opportunity because they have a million followers and we're doing a collab, just trying to
Yep.
understand why it's a heck yes.
That makes for easier decision making, and more alignment with what you like and what you actually want to do, or
So,
who you actually want to be with, or like all the things which you really,
yeah,
really want. And once you figure that out, it's easier to make decisions because, also decision fatigue is a real thing. So
yeah.
I feel like that's a whole nother conversation,
That's a
child. We
whole
got
nother
so many other
conversation.
conversations.
Hold on, what are we on? This is like our 10th one we got after this, the 10th follow
Right.
up.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, so burnout, but I feel like we just kind of also just trickled right into boundaries, which is the
Yeah,
next thing we're going to talk about. So, it is the thing that we say that we're all working on, but some people still struggle with it
yeah,
when it's actually time to hold them. Okay. Yeah. So again, especially just women in our communities, we've been taught
yeah,
to overextend, people please, be
yes,
available all the time. Um, but boundaries is not like a negative thing. It's a
yeah,
necessity. So the boundaries are for us,
yes,
not for like other people. And I think that people are confused in that. Boundaries are for you, your well-being,
yeah,
so they are necessary. Yeah, so like I said, it's typically challenging for people to make and hold them, but what in your
yeah,
opinion do you feel is the biggest challenge when people are trying to set boundaries, and how can we start setting them without feeling guilty?
yeah. No, and I think that's the big thing is that people feel guilty. And I have the conversation with one of my good girlfriends, like, because she's just like, man, and like we celebrate, we literally clap and all this stuff when she puts down a boundary when it comes to like family or
Yay.
friends, because it has been a bit hard. And me, look, Capricorn boundary queen. It's like you need to say this. You don't need to pick them up from the airport. You got a baby. Like I don't know. I'm just like the hype woman in a sense, right? So I feel like it's like they don't want to lose the relationship that they have with that person, and they actually, I feel like, especially for me, I don't want to seem selfish. Old me now,
Mhm.
selfish me, I don't care, like,
Yeah, right.
so but she didn't want to seem selfish. She didn't, or like I have a friend that doesn't, or I know of people that don't want to inconvenience someone. So if I'm like, hey, I need you to pick me up from the airport at this crazy time, but I know you're gonna say yes because we've known each other for 22 years. Like that's, and the people pleasing aspect could be that person overextending themselves when they really need to do something, or they even just want to rest, not even that they have something to do, like maybe they just genuinely want to sit and breathe, right? So I
Mhm.
feel like those are the elements, like losing the connection with or the relationship with the person, feeling selfish, or also feeling guilty. And a lot of this really wraps around family and how you grew up
Mm.
and how family dynamics were too. Sometimes we don't have boundaries because if mother called and needs something, like you have to drop everything and go. Like there's no
Yep.
non-negotiables. So it's really just looking at yourself and self. I love the term self preservation, boundaries. You have to be okay with looking selfish. I had a season where people were like, Radiance is selfish. I am. I'm living my best life.
Okay.
Like over here doing this. People think it's selfish
Yeah.
that they were like, why don't you teach Pilates? I'm not ready yet. I want Pilates for myself because as soon as I have to teach it, then you're gonna be forcing me to teach it versus,
Exactly.
me being able to enjoy the practice for myself. Yeah. So But all that to
Yep,
say,
yep.
we got to get over looking every which way, because those are their feelings. I think of that. Whatever people think of you are their feelings. And no matter how much you want to present yourself as this perfect person, I promise you're going to slip. And it may not be you, but it's going to be the perception of you didn't show up, or you were late, or something didn't happen. And yeah, it's just a cycle, girl.
It is. It truly is. Oh my gosh, you literally hit the nail right on the head. And especially, as far as what we even seen just growing up, plays a
Yeah.
big role because it's like, oh well, my aunt used to, or my mom, or my dad, and then we're like modeling it. So it just goes back to
Yeah.
the things that we've seen. But yeah, and I think I said it briefly before, like most people confuse boundaries with rejection, and they think that saying no
Hmm.
means that they're being rude or shutting people out. But yeah, no, no, don't care
I
about what
love
you
you,
people
and that's
think.
why I have a boundary. Like, for certain people,
Yes,
like, I said no to help you out.
for
Because
sure.
one of the other things, and I was talking with a friend, is that it makes that person, and if someone is what I like to say, like kind of like an energy vampire, they're like draining you in some way, form, or fashion, or draining your bank account, or something like that. It forces that person to find a solution, and maybe that's the blessing, is them learning to find a different solution for something versus you, people pleasing and always doing things for them. So, and I've been that person. Someone hit me with a pool stiff arm boundary. Oh, I got to figure out another
Right.
way. Oh my God, you said no. Let me go figure out a way. And I did. So, but it was my feelings. I threw a little 30-minute pity party, and then I went to go find my way.
Exactly.
So,
'Cause people don't often think that way,
um,
but it's true.
yeah,
I like perspective.
yeah, that could be the
Huh.
blessing, is you saying no for them.
For them. And when you were talking about, what did you say? Draining your energy. So it's also, I also think that boundaries should be in place. Like, do you pay attention? And this is for the viewers. Like, do you
Yeah.
guys pay attention to what truly actually drains your energy and who drains your energy?
Yes.
How do you put boundaries in place with those people, with those
Yeah.
situations, with whatever? Like, you also have to pay attention to what your energy drains
Yeah.
as a boundary.
Yeah. And that goes back. This all ties in. Oh my God. Self-awareness, baby. Like, when you have to be aware of yourself, and even like, I do this even in dating, for my single viewers out there. But like, how does your body feel after you've been with this person, or after you've talked on the phone with this person, right? Like, do you feel a little
Mhm.
ick, And I get it. Sometimes you work with that person. Hold up. Don't point no elbows. But you can be able to but you can be able to navigate like around that, and create a form. But you at least know this person tops, if they're calling me, tops 8 minutes. Minute nine, whew, I can't do it. you know?
That's it.
Even that,
Yeah.
even that as a boundary, like I only take calls that are 10 minutes. Yeah, because after that, then I'm
I
tired,
love
I'm
that.
drained, I need to go lay down. Look.
Okay.
um,
Okay, that part. And I love that time limit on that. And it reminds me, I had a
yeah.
conversation, a presentation about something, where we were talking about energy drains. And I'm like, do y'all have that friend or that person that literally just calls you just to vent and talk about their problem this, problem that, like, put a boundary in place with that. Like, I ain't got 10
Yeah.
minutes just to hear all of this stuff. Like, what's the solution
Yeah.
at this point, right? Like, I can be a good listener, however, like, I'll listen for like
Comma.
10 minutes and then I gotta go.
We gotta go.
Um,
Like, we out. One of the things that me and this was probably like a few years ago, And I had to instill this. I know my mom is gonna watch this. Hey, mom, and I'm gonna say it. Okay, I had to instill this with my mother and my family members because sometimes they would just say stuff, and I'm just like, can you ask me if I have the capacity? And so now we do this with friends. Like, hey, girl, do you have the capacity? To listen to a story that is from my boss that was kind of work trauma related, right? And then I also pick and choose who I'm telling the story
Mhm.
to, just because like certain levels of trauma that I know or triggers I know with friends and family, right? But asking a
Mhm.
person permission first. Now, one of the other things I do with my
Yeah.
girlfriend Jackie, hey Jackie, is that we send. I just sometimes you just need to get it out, right? Like there's times where I don't even talk to nobody. I ain't got time to talk about this. So I'll just do a voice note. And it could be to myself, but I'll do a voice
Hmm.
note. I'll be like, hey girl, I just need to get this out. Do the voice note. And then after the voice note, look,
Hmm.
second text, it's a vent about how McDonald's was closed or they made me eat McDonald's today because that was the lunch they ordered. What the hecky?
What?
I ain't had McDonald's in 6 years. But listen whenever.
Right.
Love you. Have a good day. Like that's and so sometimes when she's listening, more than likely, I'm so far removed from the situation that I'm already in a different clarity vibe. Right. But then it's almost like a cute laughing moment, or she affirms me, is like, girl, that's crazy. They cater McDonald's, and, and it just makes it fun.
Right.
Versus me calling. She's in the middle of doing something and she's talking about this girl calling because it is, or something like that. That's just like a funny
I
story, but
love
it's so
that.
applicable. Like people don't understand how often this happens. People just
I love that. Yeah.
intersect your life
Yeah.
with their mess.
Ugh. But I love that
You've had
voice
you've had
note.
that experience?
Um, I have. So this literally goes right into my next question. Like, I did uh implement this with
Mhm.
a friend a while ago because she would literally always call and I would be like in the middle of doing something else. And I literally just had to say, hey, I don't have the capacity right now, but let's chat later. Or said, hey, we could hop on the phone for 10 minutes at this
Yeah.
time, like we can chat, whatever. So I had to start putting in place boundaries for her.
Yeah.
Um, it was a little, I won't say pushback, but it was like a slight,
Mhm.
like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, yeah. But then I also had to
With
explain
a
something because
smile.
she wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Girl.
The
Yes.
viewers. Yeah, okay. Yep, go ahead. Yep. How do
Okay.
you handle that?
Because first of all, I'm the best. Like that's the energy I came in with in a funny way. For myself, like I'm the best. So if someone's pushing back, then let's chest to chest. I'm not backing down. Like I said what I said. And I
Okay.
always do bring it with compassion and grace. So it's not like I said it and then now they're offended and stuff. If I'm like, hey mom, I'm gonna just use my mom as an example. This may or may not have happened, but now we're filming right now. Right now, right?
Right.
Mindfulness.
Mhm.
Mindfulness. No one can
Mhm.
get to me at this point, right? So if she's like calling back to back to back, and now I've kind of connected my calendar when she knows I have high dollar events so that she can like text me ahead of time because she'll schedule text.
Oh,
Like,
I
you
love
see what
that.
happens?
Yeah.
Like she
Oh,
now
yeah.
has built her life instead of calling me 30 minutes before I'm on stage getting mic'd up, which I like. But I would rather like let's chat before. Let's do some visualization exercises before instead of I'm late. I forgot what time it was. And then now it's kind of like messing with
Mhm.
my mind. Or if when I was doing outdoor yoga, she'd be like, "You saw it's raining." No, no way. That's not one thing I check. No, no, I didn't see that. I didn't even know the weather was a weather report. What are you
Not at
talking about?
all.
So now the boundary was set to say, hey, mom, trust me. I know that I'm watching the weather, so I would just love any support. Like in canceling an event outdoors, which I just had to do one, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. You have to tell the people. It's like 30 minutes of work anyway. And so now she just supports and just, instead of like, I think it's gonna rain. Look, girl, shut up. Please stop.
Yes.
But the pushback would be the defensiveness. Sometimes people come on, get
Yeah.
defensive, right? But just being
Mm-hmm.
able to say, like, I understand how you feel, but like this is what helps me. And going back to explaining about my nervous system, I say, when you tell me about the weather, the chance of rain, I already know about it and I've already had a plan in place. I'm still doing what I have to do, but when you bring my thoughts back to that, then my anxiety rises. And when my
Mm-hmm.
anxiety rises, I'm kind of not in my best self. And so I'm rushing through things. And so I explain it. You see, I'm just, and then she's like,
Yep.
oh, well, I don't want that for you. And in her head, she just thought she was helping me out, but,
Right. Right. That's
which
true.
I get. But I had to explain what happens to me and my feelings when stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that happens. So with pushback, if they still don't care, they don't care about you and they're not a heck yes. They gotta go.
Okay. Going back to the heck yes. Okay.
Right.
It all goes back to the heck yes.
Right. Like heck yes. Okay, yes. I won't talk to you about the weather. Go call your girlfriend. Be like, oh, my daughter got an outdoor yoga. It might rain tonight. Go vent to
Yeah.
her, not to me.
Please. Right.
Yeah.
Please. Please.
But
Please. Please.
again, if someone doesn't respect your boundary, that shows a lot about them. And I think that's like the totality of it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, if they do get mad about your boundaries, usually because they were benefiting from your lack
Mm,
of having one.
that part.
So
Oh,
once
they
you
just thought
decide,
they had access, VIP
right,
access. And when I started putting them into general admission,
okay, they're like, wait a minute, they outside of the club, they can't even get in.
what
Right.
happens? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But just, I
So
think speaking on it with kindness and clarity. And then again, we don't have to bet because again, we don't want to get into the people pleasing. We don't want to be like, well, what? Well, yeah, I guess you can tell me about that. No, 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 no. 10 toes down. This is what it is. Again, listening to your nervous system and your body and
mhm.
just, and again, that is applicable because I know we're talking about personal and that was a funny personal, but professional as well with clients or with coworkers. You are your best thing, right? That's what Toni Morrison said. So if a coworker is overstepping or anything, like we have to speak up for ourselves. And it's not easy. It takes courage. So be like Issa Rae, go look in the mirror, talk to yourself, give yourself a little hype sesh. But we gotta do it.
Exactly. Exactly. Whew,
Yeah.
Lord, I hope they're writing down all of these gems, girl, because we're
Yeah.
we're slowly wrapping up, but I feel like this is a very deep and hefty, dense conversation.
Yeah.
That we need to have. So as we're getting to our last segment,
Yeah.
talking about the power of the pause.
Ooh.
We're gonna pivot to talking about the pause, right? So as I mentioned earlier, we live in a world that's glorifying, the hustle culture, the grind
Uh,
culture, and I've been a victim too. Uh, yeah, I've been there,
Me
done that.
too.
Me too. But truly, like the power is really in the moments where we actually stop to breathe, to check in with ourselves. So the pause isn't about laziness, which I think most people associate pausing with being lazy. It's about like
Yeah.
realignment, adjusting, resetting. So that's even where clarity happens. So how you
Yeah.
paused and took a moment to like meditate when you were doing the
Mhm.
travel and was able to now become, you know, more clear and have more clarity. That's kind of like what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
um, you know, we are human beings, not human doings. So
No.
we actually have to make sure we're taking time to be and not do, do, baby shark, right? Right?
Just be.
Shut up.
Yeah. Just be.
Yes. So, yes, just be.
Just be.
Uh, so let's talk about a moment where you took a pause, whether it was intentionally
Mm,
or not, that actually led to you having more clarity or even just more healing in your own life.
yeah. So, look, let's get back to my FMLA story. So, once I
Mm,
actually took that pause, and that was a lot. That's a whole other 20 segment series, okay? But once I got those papers done and the 12-week was approved by the state, I literally was thinking to myself, I was like, Radiance, I did a little oh, I don't have my calculator with me, but I was like, you for probably 13 to 14 hours a day were worrying about work. And let me just say 15. We're worrying about work. So 15 times 7 is a week, right? You have 12 weeks. So that number, again, no calculator,
mm-hmm.
times
Yep.
12 is how many hours that you've dedicated to working. And now you don't have that anymore. So,
Mm,
like, what are you gonna
yeah.
do? What are you gonna fill that space with? And so I wanted, and I know we talk about pause, which I did, but I want it almost as an active pause because I know myself and how deeply sad I was in that moment. I didn't want to spend all that in the bed, or at least in the bed in DC. What? So that's when
For
I
sure.
took a time to actually do a career sabbatical, and I took 8 weeks. And so I started out doing volunteer coaching in outside of Accra, Ghana. So I was teaching kids sports and helping them within the schools, and it helped me again or extract me from the work, right? But still having that purposeful work, which it's not
Mhm.
work that I hate. It was very specific, menu that made me burn out. It's not helping kids with sports and warming up and stuff. Like, I love that. That's the stuff that lights me up. So that was to me active rest, resting my brain from things of pleasing others to things that light me up. So I started there, did about 3 4 weeks there, and then went to go with a newfound friend, Dr. Danielle James, who made this jewelry line. Look, shout out.
I
Okay,
love
Salience.
it.
Love friends that do cool things. But and then I lived the rich African lifestyle. That was great. I was like, okay, because of course they portray things certain way. That this
Yeah.
gave me an opportunity to also see what I am capable of having, and we had noted that God wouldn't expose me to this if it couldn't be mine, if it couldn't be an opportunity for me. And I said that as soon as I got off the
Mm,
plane for my career sabbatical, whatever glass ceiling I had shattered, super shattered. Like, I was like, wow, the world is way bigger and my capabilities are way bigger than what I thought. And so did that, and then took a little vacation in a vacation, which is crazy. So I went to Zanzibar, which is one of my favorite places, and went to Dubai, and
oh
then
my gosh.
yeah, and then ended in Ethiopia for 3 weeks. I'm telling you, like, active rest, but resting nonetheless, because resting myself out of the cyclical nature that I was in, and really, like, came back to my roots. So those were the ways that I, like, forced myself to rest my mind and have a different perspective. And I think that's what it was. So when you talk about the question of, like,
Mm.
what happened from that, girl, I started my whole business. I quit that job. Okay. So I remember the last day. Yeah, I resigned. They sent an email and I resigned. I flew back the next day, packed my office, and sat, like, in the big empty house like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when they moved out. Like, that's how I felt. I was like, what am I gonna do now? But it helps me see and chase those things that light me up, more so than the cyclical nature. And so even now I'm able to devise the way I take care of myself, but it's from things that light me up, versus,
Mm.
oh, girl, I'm over here having little trigger
Yeah.
twitches from corporate. I was thinking, I was like, oh my God, I had to drive to work, go to work, do work, work, drive from work. Oh, I was tired,
All right.
because you get
That
it.
is
You felt that little
hilarious.
twitch, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I got you.
Oh my gosh. But again, active rest.
Wow.
That's why I wanted to be very specific with sometimes the rest isn't like we just want to lay down. It's the rest of thinking bigger, like get out of that mind frame of thinking so that you can pause, see a different perspective. That's why I love traveling and then be able
Mhm.
to reforecast in a sense.
Mm, that's so good, that's so good. So just that time of pausing literally is now rooted in radiance,
Yes,
right?
yes. Literally, that was
Literally.
like, that's crazy. I was even thinking like my first YouTube video was my great resignation recap. And I was like, thank you, Radiance, for putting that on
Mhm.
YouTube because now I'm a YouTube girly. You know, so
Yeah.
it's cool, girl, when you look back at the things you've done, right? The times of pause and what came from that. And I challenge the audience to when was the last time you kind of like really took a pause and what perspective arrived from that? And it may be hard to like think about, but you'll get there and you'll be like, wow, I did when it slowed down, even if it was off one of my other ones, but I'm not gonna keep talking. But power pause was when I tore my ACL. I'm not
Oh,
running 80,000 things and stuff. Like you're literally from a different perspective. Like I did a 5K and I was a walker in a 5K, not the front runner, pacer.
yeah.
It gave me a different perspective. So it could be that too. Oh, you just
Oh,
talked about
girl.
your hamstring, right? That was a little pause.
Yeah, definitely a little pause, okay? Oh gosh, yeah, that was definitely a little pause, but
Yeah,
definitely a needed pause,
I needed.
as well. So, yeah, but so I was forced to pause there, just like also back, when COVID happened, I was
Yeah.
also forced to
Yep.
pause because obviously the gyms, everything was closed. So, we couldn't really work out at the gym. And, clients still wanted to train. So I constantly had to pivot. Like we went
Mhm.
from, okay, let's do Zoom, but they wanted to do in person. All right, well, let's go
Yeah.
to the high school track down the street. They then locked the gate. So we couldn't even go. So I'm like, all right, back on Zoom until I figure it out. Okay. And then now we're
Yeah.
back at the park where we stayed until things opened up.
Yeah.
But even during that time, I wasn't working as many hours. Obviously, none of us really were,
Yeah.
if we're being honest. But, in those extra hours and time that I had, I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
building the platform for that. So, yeah, the COVID pause really birthed my online training platform.
Wow. And if you were just stuck, and I don't even want to call it stuck, but if you were just going, training, you would have never seen this as a true opportunity. So kudos to
Hmm.
you for adjusting and adapting according to the times.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
girl, you said
So,
nobody was working. Girl, they was dragging me into the ground. What do you mean? I'm still triggered.
oh Lord, my bad. Yeah, well, let's just say some of
Look.
us, some of us, some of us. So
Yeah, in a
that's
funny
too
way.
funny. Yes. So now that we had those pauses prior, what does it look like for you now in this season of your life? What does
Ooh.
pausing now look like?
So I have a little list because I wanted to make sure I stayed on track. So
Mhm.
I am a queen boundaries, but heeding to that, like I have to keep that number one is saying no without guilt or apology. And I mean when I say apology, if someone's like chest to chest with me, right? But without guilt, knowing that I have to preserve myself first. And in order, I mean, they say it on the plane all the time, you have to put on your oxygen mask before you help others.
Mhm.
So if and I trust, ooh, this is good. I trust myself to make the decision. So if I
Yeah.
say a boundary, then more than likely I've went through that decision and I know that this is what's best for me. I just don't say random things, you know? And so saying that, one of the other things I said was protecting my mornings. And we were talking about this. You kind of inspired me from week one to like be more protective over my mornings, with your morning savers. But I heard this like one what is it called? Like quote where it says, if you lose an hour in the morning, you'll be looking for it all day. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
Child, look looking high and low, like, where you at?
where is it? And it just doesn't show up, right? So even today I had a really early morning and we
Mm,
were talking a little bit about morning routines this morning. But I had a little bit of an earlier morning and I already worked out and thank God because now it's like thunderstorming, raining. I was able to get
mhm.
a little cute for this call because I was already up and had a little bit of energy. And I've definitely known some mornings when I don't protect, I can feel the difference. Remember the story from the win. Like I'm bratty. I'm just like meh, 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 giving Eeyore energy. Not cool. So one of my other ones, and we had talked about this a little bit, is creating more than consuming. Like so I am a creator. I have to remember that. Like, this is my work and my world. And I know it's like fun for some people, but I also studied this in college. I studied advertising, I studied strategic marketing, digital media. So, me being
Mm,
like, okay, Radiance, like just create the things and your authentic self is what people will gravitate to. Like, there's no need for you to try to do this little, TikTok thing like that someone else started. Like,
exactly.
do your own thing, and also just feel confident in what you're doing even if you do like replicate that, just be like, I'm gonna do it with locks, in a fun way or something like that. But when you start consuming too much, it's not even that you compare, but you're draining. Again, it's an energy thing, like you're just draining
Mhm.
more. So listening to my body, not the clock. Okay, listening to your body will tell you everything. One of the things I posted today was let go or be dragged. I feel like if you don't listen to your body, it's gonna drag you. Okay.
It's gonna drag you.
And you don't want that. So the
I
other
love
thing is
that.
that time expands when we're inspired. A lot of times we feel like we're running out of time. We gotta do this, this, and this. But when we're inspired, it expands. And I think inspiration comes after resting and just allowing yourself to
Mm,
reflect and digest. Yeah.
that's so good.
Yay. Yeah, that's how I
Mm.
feel.
Man, I need all of them were gems.
Yeah.
All of it, all of it, all of it.
Yes.
Yes. So even, yeah, going back to protecting your
Ooh,
mornings, even though, there's some days a week that I start super early.
girl, tell the people what you
The
told
mornings
me.
that I listen, yeah, 2 days a week I'm up at 3:30, one day a week I'm up at 4:30, which is progress because it used to be 4 days a week up at 4.
Wow.
So, I'm getting better, getting better, getting better. But that's also the bright side of now having the online. I don't have a lot of in
Mhm.
person anymore that I have to get up that early for. So that's great. So, you
So
had
wait, when
mentioned
do you go to
earlier about,
sleep?
oh, right, right, right. The time I should be going to sleep is between 8:30 and 9,
Oh
but if
wow.
we're being honest, lately it's been 9:30 pushing 10 o'clock, which I know is bad. I know it's bad. I know it's bad. I know
Girl,
it's
no one's judging. We
bad. But
listen. We don't judge.
we listen, we don't
Because there's
judge. I
days where I
love
go to
that.
bed at 3:30. Look.
Oh my
Yeah, when I get a
gosh.
real big creative thing and I look and I'm like, I feel like, in college, I don't know. When you pull an all-nighter because you gotta get some stuff done. Yeah,
Mhm,
I've been there
mhm.
before
It be
in
like that
adult life.
sometimes. Yeah, right. Sometimes. So
Yeah.
yeah, but definitely what it looks like now, in my season is being okay with clearing my schedule. Like I'll cancel things that I don't want to do. so that I can pause and being unavailable. Um, and also, yeah, so the mornings that I don't have to get up that early, I actually have intentional slow mornings where I
Ooh.
can literally sit, enjoy my coffee or my water or my breakfast, and literally just sit without having to scroll.
Uh,
And even like text messages. So if like
yeah.
people know that I am up early, like most people know that I am, well, some people know that I am up early for clients, but just because I'm early training clients doesn't mean I'm going to respond to your text message.
Yeah. I love that.
Uh, so pausing on responding to people um, is what that also looks like in my season. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
I love
So,
that. Girl, cut it.
oh, geez.
Insert this, like,
Right.
cut it. I don't want to go.
Well,
I'm
girl.
not going to do
Yeah,
it.
no. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Ugh. We talked about so much. This has been a very dense
Yeah.
conversation with so many good things. Oh my gosh. So, as we wrap, y'all, this is your reminder that you don't have to wait until you crash out to rest,
No.
right?
Actually, you
Being
don't
burned
want
out. You don't.
to.
Right. You don't have to wait till you crash out to rest. Like
Mhm.
preventative measures are great. Burning out doesn't make you strong. Boundaries
Mhm.
definitely don't make you selfish. And pausing doesn't mean that you're falling behind. It simply means that you're finally listening to you and your body.
I love that.
Ugh. So
I love that.
as we talk about our next move and what are our takeaways, what is um your intention for the week? If we want to get what's your intention for the week?
Ooh. And I just came off this one with a rip. Like when you did that little closing day, I was like, oh my God. And so it made me want to do an intention. And then you asked me for one. So, yes. One of the things and I say this because it's like a me to myself and then y'all join in, is that
Mm-hmm.
I used to do moments of silence a lot. Just sitting in silence, whether it's just like 5 minutes, even if I put a timer on or something. And I've kind of moved away from it a little bit. And so I want to
Mm-hmm.
integrate that back in. It's just sitting in silence. And my intention is to find 5 minutes of silence each day this week. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's good.
Thank
That
you.
is good. I'm gonna have to write that down because there are moments that I have like silence, but I'm also like doing something else. Like
Doing
I won't
something.
have music or anything on. Like I'm doing something else, whether it's brushing my teeth, whether it's just I don't know, scroll. I don't know. I'm doing something,
Yeah.
but just
Anything.
silence without doing nothing. I love that. I want to set a new
Mm.
boundary. Um, I don't know exactly what, but I want to set a new boundary. Um, I don't know what it's
Ooh,
gonna be
let's
yet, but I just want to
brainstorm.
set a new boundary.
Professional or personal? Look, I love this. Let's brainstorm this boundary.
Personal. We're gonna do a
Personal.
personal boundary.
Ooh.
Yeah.
One of my high level, and I'll just say this because I meant to mention this level of boundaries is that this year I want to live 80% in my body. So my phone is on do not disturb 80% of the time, which is crazy. People think
Mm,
they really don't have access to me. Now, I'm on my phone if I have to be or if I see something, but as far as like even right now, again, there's nothing that can come through. And
right.
it started out with recording, being in the studio, like you have to silence your phone. You usually see that on high level
Mhm.
events, but every
Mhm.
event I do, you have to do that. So it helps me just personally, um, yeah, not have so much easy access to me. And I have it on timer.
Absolutely.
I have specific, like
Oh
it goes on, it's
yeah.
automatic timers when it goes on do not disturb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, me and D and D go to get up. We go together real bad for
Bay,
sure.
this bay.
Um, yeah, that is Bay. I know I said personal, but I also feel like um I also feel like with business, like I just need to get better at when I do respond to emails.
Mm.
Cause like I'm good at like not necessarily responding to text right away. Like if you know I'm up early, blah, blah,
Oh, I
blah. But
see.
like emails, like I don't want to feel like people need an immediate response. They'll get a response when they get a response. So I
Yeah.
do need to get better. I need to reinforce it. So let me talk about
Ooh.
my intention of reinforcing a boundary.
Okay.
Um, which now that's going to be y'all homework. That's going to be my homework and your homework. So that's my intention, and that's y'all homework. Reassess your boundaries that you need to reinforce and
Ooh.
reinforce it.
I love that. And then sit in silence. Look.
Yeah, sit in silence. Think about what you're doing, right? Sit in silence, and then go ahead and reinforce that boundary.
I
Turn
love
your phone
that.
on D&D as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's just find out what works for you too, you know. So there's seasons
Hmm.
where I can't necessarily have my phone on D&D as much as I do, right?
Right,
And
right.
I understand we might be talking to some medical workers or but find what works for you, that thing that works for you. And
Hmm.
I love how both of us are like different, but it still complements each other. And we're like, oh, I'm gonna try that and I'm gonna try that. So I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely. This has been great. So, as we wrap, what's the homework that that you're giving them this week? What are they looking for from you for this
Yeah.
week as well?
Yeah. All right. So going back to the beginning, I have a dope body scan. And so that helps you pause and rest and like really tune into your own body and how you're feeling in the moment. So I want us to do that. It is 20 minutes. I know, whatever. It's a long time and it's okay. We can find 20 minutes to just sit with ourselves and honor our body. All right. So that's one.
Hmm.
Number two is I do have another breathwork exercise because breathing on purpose, right? The power of the pause, we want to breathe. So I'll give you another breathwork exercise as well as another stretching exercise and actually player's choice, baby. Okay. I'll give you the playlist and you can choose which one helps you because again, I we provide these so that you can try it out. If something doesn't work for you, that's okay. Then you find something else that does. And I think that's the key is building it. So that's what I have for homework for you this week. And what do you have for them, girl? And for me, let me get my pen. Hold up. I cannot hear you if you're talking. It sounds like you're muted.
Sorry.
There you are.
Yep.
Okay.
So we talked about reassessing your boundaries, reinforcing. We're talking about nourishing the soul from.
Ooh.
Carbs and fats so that can accompany your Nourish the Soul fundamental video.
I love that. And I need that. Can you send me that now?
I got you. I got you. Send it right now.
Macros. Oh, for those like me that are overwhelmed and just go with the vibes. Okay, so I'm excited that you have that resource because that is something that's so important when we talk about all the things we've been talking about.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So
Oh,
this has been great.
yeah.
So yeah, all the resources, everything we talked about is going to be down in the description. So make sure you check it, click all the links, check all the things. And then next week,
Ooh.
is week 4, and we are wrapping up this amazing series talking
Yeah.
about elevate the self. So we talked about all the things, the stress, align the mind, strengthen the body, and nourishing the soul. How do we integrate all of these
All of it.
things? And how do we take our wellness to the next level? So we'll be bringing it all together in our episode 4. Um, so yeah, just make sure you are locked in. Tune in next week as
Yeah.
we wrap up this BIPOC Mental Health Month series. So I'll see you then, girl.
Yes, you will. And I'm excited. And for the people, we love you. Okay. We love you. We're here for you. So if you like this, share it with a friend, a family member that we were talking about that needs that boundaries. Okay. Like share
Okay.
it. And like, comment, subscribe, all the things.
All the things.
All the
Until next
things.
time.
Until next time.
All right,
Bye.
bye.